This is about a scientific discovery made in 1906 by Sir Francis Galton. Galton was the first to use a survey to gather data. He coined the terms standard deviation and median. He discovered that fingerprints were unique to each individual. Galton was an English polymath at a time when the British Empire was at its peak, but he was not a statistician. There was no such thing as a statistician until his protege Carl Pearson established the discipline of mathematical statistics. Pearson founded the first university statistics department at University College London. Pearson gets credit for naming Pearson's R, the coefficient of correlation which Galton discovered. Galton's discovery, the wisdom of the crowd, is what we want to focus on now.
In 1906, an unfortunate cow laid down its life for a place in mathematical history.
1, 10, 264, 417.
The cow was the subject of a guess-the-weight competition at a village fair. The lucky person who came closest would win the slaughtered animal's meat.
1020, 2130.
The amazing thing was, nobody guessed correctly.
570.
And yet, everybody got it right.
4510.
To show you how they did it, I'm not going to use a cow, I'm going to use a jar of jelly beans.
450, 800, 12,000.
7,000.
How many jelly beans do you think there are in this jar?
80,000.
80,000.
No, actually, 50,000.
50,000?
Yeah.
Okay, 50, yeah, okay.
It's incredibly difficult for anyone to guess how many jelly beans there are. I asked 160 people, and most were way off the mark. Everything from 400 right up to 50,000 beans. In fact, only 4 people got anywhere near the correct answer of 4,510.
Plus 1,500, plus 3,273, plus 873,000, plus...
But if I add all the answers together and take the average, I'll get the combined guess of the entire group.
Plus 4,500, 463, plus 853,000, plus 5,000, which gives a grand total of 722,383.5. Somebody thought there was half a bean in there. Now, there are 160 guesses made, so let's see how close they are collectively. Wow, that's extraordinary. If you remember, there were 4,510. The average guess to the nearest bean is 4,515. I mean, I thought it'd be close, but I didn't think it'd be that close. That is ridiculous. So although we had guesses that were all over the place, up in 30,000s, right down in the 400s, collectively, we get something which is just 0.1% away from the real number of beans in there. So as individuals, the guesses are just that, guesses. But when you take them collectively, they become something else entirely. 5,000, 1,480,
9,000.
2,000.
What tends to happen is that, more or less, as many people will underestimate the number of jelly beans as overestimate it.
1,766.
A few people will be way off the mark either way, but that doesn't matter. Provided you ask enough people, the errors should cancel each other out.
700.
The accuracy of the group is far greater than the individual. We call this the wisdom of the crowd.
Galton defines a crowd as a diverse, independent group of individuals. It's the opposite of herd mentality, where opinions converge toward the opinion of an influential leader. Galton found that the mean, the average, of many independent numeric judgments of non-experts is superior to one expert opinion. How does this apply to real estate appraisal? What is it about a crowd of appraisers that would have a better collective judgment than merely one expert? It would be a group of appraisers who knew nothing of each other's markets or opinions. Use Galton's survey method and ask those appraisers a question such as, quote, what is the impact on market value of a busy road location to a house that sold for $400,000, unquote. Use Galton's discovery. Take the sum of the responses and divide by the number of responses. If the average response is the impact is $20,000, then divide $20,000 by $400,000. What you get is that the survey showed the impact of such a location was 5% of the purchase price. Is this the right answer for all time? No. This is secondary data. The Dictionary of Real Estate Appraisal defines secondary data as, quote, information that is not gathered in its original form by the analyst, unquote. The 15th edition of the Appraisal of Real Estate says that, quote, another form of data analysis, secondary data analysis, is used to support adjustments derived by other methods. This technique makes use of data that does not directly pertain to the subject or comparable properties. This secondary data describes the general real estate market and is usually collected by a data vendor, research firm, or government agency like the county assessor. Secondary data may need verification, unquote. Would you like to benefit from the wisdom of the crowd? Use the link in the description below to record your email address. We'll contact you by email to take a survey. Invest less than 30 minutes of your time, and you'll benefit from the wisdom of the crowd. To thank you for participating in the survey, we'll send the results of it to you free of charge.